What's going on? G Money Richie back with another video. Happy Sunday to you all. Hope you guys had a great week. In this video, I am going to compile 6 valuable lessons that I learned from coming out of a 10-month-long relationship. These are things you can apply to save yourself from chaos, unnecessary drama, and a perpetual loop of constantly getting let down, especially if you're on a mission to succeed and actually achieve something great in this world. By the end of this video, you are going to be equipped with long-term game on how to operate, what not to do, and truly just how to find peace in a relationship, bro, so you can focus on your grind. The first lesson that I learned is to understand your weaknesses. Going into any type of relationship, whether you're a male, whether you're a female, you need to have done a deep discovery of your internal mind. What flaws do you have? What traumas do you have? What things and psychological traits do you have that are truly holding you back as an individual? Because those things will bite you in the ass and impede on your relationship as well. So when you're single, take the time, bro. Take the time to sit down, to journal, to read, to understand whatever psychological traits that you have that are flaws, the ones that aren't serving you well. Because if they're not serving you well, they're not going to serve anybody else well in a relationship. This goes for all your relationships as well. Family, friends, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever the hell it may be. For me, one of my big weaknesses inside of a relationship was the way that I spoke, to people. Being in sales myself is, sometimes caused me to just simply be too direct, have preconceived notions about, certain behaviors and just making all these certain assumptions, and then also sometimes giving unsolicited advice that nobody even fucking asked for, right? And operating in this way, I need to start to find a balance of, sales conversations, family conversations, girlfriend conversations, sibling conversations, and really be able to separate the two, especially when you're in a career where you talk to a whole bunch of people on a day-to-day basis. But, if you're not able to have that balance in terms of the way you talk to specific people, it is going to impede on your relationship. It's going to affect it at all, because it's just going to affect the way that you interact with people, right? And the way you interact with people matters, and you want it to be genuine, and you want it to be real. You want there to be an actual connection. So that was kind of my mistake in terms of everything, and I'm definitely working on that now. One tangible step that I'll leave you guys with on this point is I've actually linked down a ChatGPT bot that I built myself. It's really just designed to ask you a different series of questions based off all of your behavior from the beginning of the day to the end, and then really extrapolate all of your flaws and give you actionable step afterwards. So it's linked down below. Use it. Let me know how it is. Give me feedback, all of that kind of stuff. But make sure that you do this self-work. The self-work matters, man, and it separates the wheat from the chaff. Because the people that don't do the self-work, the people that don't figure out what's wrong with them internally are the ones in this world that are bitter, the ones that have no accountability, the ones that are constantly externalizing everything, the ones who have all the excuses in the world before they start anything, before they do anything, or why they do certain things. They never take accountability, they have no discipline, and overall, they're a waste of space. So don't let that be you. The second lesson that I learned is that the way she is before the relationship is how she will be within the relationship. Women simply have patterns, bro. Ghosting, flaking, lying, delayed responses, all these kind of things. And these early behaviors are actually something that you should continuously be aware of and address immediately, or you're gonna fucking regret it, bro. And it's also gonna bite you in the ass. When you start dating a girl, I truly want you to analyze every single thing that she does. Because believe me, bro, women do the exact same thing. They analyze everything that we do to a T in the beginning stages of a relationship, right? Is she flaking on plans? Is she not responding on time, bro? Is she, every time you try to have a deep conversation, is she retreating from the deepness? Is she not communicating properly? Analyze these things. Now, on the contrary, if you are addressing these things within the relationship and she says that she will change and she does all of these things and continuously goes right back to old behavior, that is a sign that she doesn't care, and she never will. The thing about women that I understand now, and I've seen it in multi-dimensions of different relationships, is that they can't separate single behavior from relationship behavior. Even if you're a guy or a girl, bro, this is a key thing. You need to operate differently when you are in a relationship. You cannot continuously do the same things when you're single. When that comes to going out or talking to specific people, or all those little things that you do, they need to be communicated inside of the relationship on why you do them, and they can't just kind of be done and say, "Oh, I did this when I did it when I was single, so I'm having a hard time working out now." You can't tolerate that bullshit. And what matters most is that, especially if your partner is communicating these things and saying that they need to change, and they're saying that it's bothering them. So if you are in a situation right now where things are currently bothering you inside of the relationship and you're communicating them, the key thing is that you're communicating them, bro, because you can't expect your partner to do certain things that you never told them to do or not to do. And we'll get into expectations in my next point. But furthermore, you can't allow yourself to continuously be in this loop, whether you're a male or a female, this loop of not getting your needs met. Like, if she is blatantly going back to old behavior, and then when you bring it up, she's saying she'll change and constantly apologizing and all this kind of bullshit, bro, and snapping right back to it in a few weeks, Again, she doesn't care and she never fucking will. So it's time for you to either just take a step back or completely remove yourself from the situation, bro. And it's just out of love for yourself and self-respect. So to wrap this point up, the way that she operates in the beginning of the relationship, the beginning talking stages and all those stuff, those will spill into the long run of the relationship itself. So I just want you to tread carefully, right? And make sure that you address those on the front end, opposed to thinking that they'll change. Because me personally, man, I made the mistake of thinking that things would get better just because I kept addressing it, but they didn't. So honestly, just respect yourself more than I did, and don't get blinded by beauty. Don't get blinded by love or the way that they make you feel, man, because all those things are temporary. A tangible step that you can kind of take from that lesson is to make sure you study behavioral traits. Study behavioral traits on a deep level, whether it's Jordan Peterson, you go down on psychology blogs. I'll link a couple down below of why people act the way they do, where it comes from, what kind of, childhood traumas are those kind of pinned to, did they grow up with their parents, like how did their parents treat them? All these things come into play in a relationship, and there's certain things, bro, that you don't have to tolerate. You can say no to that. Out of self-respect, you can say no. And I'm glad I finally did. And then lastly, talk to more women. Talk to more women and really understand what to avoid when it comes to certain things and actually what's worth pursuing long term. The third lesson that I learned here is to hold yourself to the same standards that you expect from her. We all have standards in a relationship, bro, right? When it comes to communication, on following specific people, being fully transparent about stuff, or just anything that's acceptable inside of the relationship itself, right? But you can't expect something from your partner if you're not doing the exact same things. And that was a mistake on my end, right? I had issues with, guys that she was following on social media, the way she interacted with them and all these kind of things. And I, said that it bothered me and stuff too. But on the contrary, the same things bothered her. And although, sure, it wasn't even communicated that she bothered her, that's no excuse for hypocrisy on my end. So for you as a man, I know there's a whole bunch of different double standards that exist biologically, right? So it's like it's worse for a woman to do this than it is for a man, just biologically in the way that they act. But it still doesn't excuse hypocrisy, bro. Whether or not it's a different level, if a baby were to take a jug of milk and dump it on the floor versus if you were to take a jug of milk and dump it on the floor, the jug of milk was still fucking spilled on the floor. Right, so it doesn't excuse anything. What I want you to take from that is to write down the things that you do and write down the things that you also hate, whether that's in a relationship or outside of a relationship, bro, and just see if they match. And if they don't align, bro, then you have an internal problem, because you need to have congruency in the way that you do things as well. You need to have that congruency, bro, or you're going to have a hard time having a flourishing relationship. The fourth lesson that I've learned is to never carry the weight of her unresolved baggage. It's not your responsibility. Your partner's internal issues just simply are not your problem, bro. You don't have to tolerate them. You don't have to be patient with them if you are not willing to and you don't want to, and it's taking away from your day-to-day life. If she says she wants to change, if she says she's going to change and never does, right, she does not care about you. She cares about the role that you play in her life, more importantly. And for me, bro, the only time that I've seen changes inside of the relationship was when I was halfway out the door. And if that's the same situation for you, bro, that's not love. It's time for you to back away. But then at the same time, my self-improvement brain always kind of comes in and asks myself, was Gadako Richard and is Gadako Richard deserving of the behaviors and the traits and the qualities and stuff that I was demanding, right? Was I truly deserving of those things? And most of the times I say no, right? But regardless of that, what you deserve is also based on your internal dialogue. What you deserve is based off of your own self-worth that you dictate on yourself. So ask yourself, are you deserving of the things that's happening inside of your relationship right now? And are you willing to put up with them long periods of time just because you love the woman? So just make sure that you're paying attention to patterns, bro, because patterns will always repeat themselves. History always repeats itself. And if leaving is the only thing that's going to make her act right, so be it, bro. She's not going to be the one acting right for you. Unfortunately, you leaving is going to teach her a lesson to start acting right for somebody else. And that's just the name of the game, bro. So don't stay in that circle. Don't stay in that loop and just leave. The fifth lesson that I've learned, bro, is that control comes from detachment and simply just not caring so much, man. Women do not respect attachment. And I've realized that over the past 10 months, right? Just the little things that, I have to pull back to get attention. I have to act like I'm not caring, to pull answers out of her. All these little things is because women, they just don't respect that. They don't respect that, and that's just deep inside of their biology, right? So if you're being emotional about every single mistake, being emotional about all these things, bro, she's gonna keep on pushing those buttons. She's gonna keep doing the things that tick you off, because women love reactions, women love drama, the women love when things are boiling in the pot, right? They never want a still, nice, flowing river. And there's ways to do that. There's ways to provide them the balance of both, the balance of chaos and the balance of peace. And you need to learn how to step into that frame. And that's what I did majority of the time, but it came to a point where like, no, because I can't have the pot boiling this high. I can't do that. So there's times where you know, satisfy hypergamy, satisfy all of these things in a woman that will make her crave you more and all this kind of stuff. But the key is literally just detachment, bro. Don't verbalize every single frustration. Stay calm, stay observant, and just watch everything that happens and just let it play out. Because women will ruin things themselves and they'll sabotage things themselves if you just let it play out and you just watch her destroy it. But throughout the relationship, you have to start using, like, you know, positive reinforcement. When she acts right, that's when you give her attention. That's when you respond quicker. That's when you know, you pull in more and you become more attached, bro. But when she starts behaving in ways that are just not right, you stop responding. You literally detach yourself from the situation, and that's what is going to keep the relationship at peace. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned in these 10 months, bro, is that you have to always be on the yin and on the yang. You have to hate her, you have to love her. You have to hate her, you have to love her, bro. That's the only thing that keeps her engaged inside of the relationship. The sixth and final lesson that I've learned is that self-sabotage equals she does not want you and you need to leave. Bro, if she's ghosting, if she's picking fights, if she's testing boundaries or constantly kind of pushing and pulling away, that's self-sabotage, bro. And it's not your job to fix her. It's not your job to fix the self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is something that I do as well, but you don't need to put up with that. And it is a deep internal issue on the other partner's end, right? And it may not mean that they don't love you anymore and they're not emotionally attached and all that kind of stuff. They just have a lot of psychological issues that they need to address, and it's not your job to fix that, bro. You are not their therapist. You are their significant other. On top of that, bro, if you're always having to like sell her on why you love her and all these kind of stuff, bro, even if your actions are already displaying so much, it's cooked. It's done. Walk the fuck away, bro, because I've realized, bro, that women don't care about actions. Women don't care about that. They're always going to need constant reassurance, and that constant reassurance is something that most men like me, bro, I can't provide every single time, bro. I need myself a woman who is going to be sure in herself, confident in herself that I love her and I will show up for her and I will, you know, make her feel loved when I can, right? But if you have a woman who's constantly always needing this attention, always needing this validation, always needing this reassurance, leave. She needs a lot of mental things to work on, bro, and that's why she does not follow those guys. That's why she continues to post crazy things. That's why she continues to go to the club, bro, because her ego and her life is built off of attention. It's built off of attention, and it's a sad life, but you can't fix that, bro. Unless you're a licensed therapist and she's paying you, do it. If not, walk away. And look at me, I'm not perfect, and I know I'm not. That's why I'm admitting my mistakes in this video, and you probably have your mistakes as well. But if it's turning into a project, bro, a project that requires parts that are going to take months and months and months and months and months to come, I want you to really question, bro, are those parts worth waiting? Are those parts worth waiting for to work on this project, or is it worth to just scrap the whole damn thing and walk away? Some women are waiting for, right? Worth for waiting those parts is worth, but mine wasn't, bro. So that's why I had to leave that situation. So ask yourself, is yours really worth waiting? If there's all these missing parts, bro, are those parts too big? Are those parts too complex? Are those parts going to take away from your business, from your life, from your family, all these stuff? If they are, that is my advice, to just leave that situation. The one thing I want you to take away is that if the relationship feels like it's just being held on by effort, and mostly your effort in general, leave. It's one-sided, bro. And she is just using you as an emotional crutch in life to continue this forward, and you know, she can continue to do all these things that, you know, lack accountability, not being fully transparent about things. It's not worth your time, bro. You as a man deserve better than that. So walking away is not losing anything, it's choosing yourself, and that's all that matters. So those are the 6 lessons that I've learned from being in a 10-month relationship and it kind of coming to an end. I just want you to walk away with this, bro, and just understand your weaknesses. You know, analyze how the person is before the relationship, because that is really what you're going to get inside the relationship as well. Don't be a hypocrite when it comes to certain things. These double standards and all that kind of stuff, I understand it, bro, but it's just some red pill bullshit. And in a real relationship, it truly does matter, right? And don't try to save somebody who can't and won't and is not willing to even fix themselves. And they say they are, but they don't have the discipline to keep on it. They don't have the accountability. They don't have the self-accountability to keep on fixing these fucked up traits. Don't stay with that person. Walk away. Stay detached from everything. Have your expectations low, because you want to find somebody in life that is continuously exceeding those expectations. And that's how you know, I truly believe that's how you know you found the one. Somebody who is continuously exceeding those expectations that you set inside of a relationship. If they're not, get to step in, G. Walking away is not losing. It's choosing yourself. I love you guys. Start off tomorrow strong. Peace.